What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Penthouse. I'm Rybot. I got top 16 at the Kissimmee Open, and this is my deck profile.
Hello everyone, I'm Mo. I got top 8 at the Kissimmee Open with Apheros Tempo Aphrodite stuff. There is some Lockagon, but this is not Apheros deck, and this is the deck profile for that list. So, starting off in the main deck, 3 base set Apheros. This card is actually really insane. Paired down alongside the 3 Champ Apheros, it becomes a 5, it's a draw engine, it's a burn card. You put more spirits onto your guys, you swing for more. Alongside our Champ Apheroses, we are also on 3 Magneros. This is a great starter for the deck. It puts out 2 5s really quickly, and 5s are very good. Next up are 1 Champ Lockagon and 1 Frostfall Lockagon. This is just more of a top end for the deck, gives it a little bit more power behind it, allows you to sometimes break some boards, depending on what your opponent has set up. Having this as an option is very helpful. To get into the Lockagons, we have 2 Champion of Aphrodite Kobe. Thank you, Dan. 2 of these. That way I specify which champion. 1-3 makes it a very weak normal cast, so we don't have it super often, but having the option to get into Aphrodite for Apheros stuff and for Lockagon stuff is very powerful. Next up, 3 Champ Whale. This gives us a little bit more punch over 5 defenders. This deck really struggles into those kinds of cards, so being able to swap the stats and swing over is very powerful. This is also a great card to pair alongside Apheros, because Apheros can trigger this effect. Apheros becomes a 4 attacker, Galaxy becomes a 5 attacker. And then we're on 2 Rabbits. We needed a couple more guys to round out the deck. Rabbit felt the best in testing because of its 2-5 stat line. The 5 defense is really key to slow down games sometimes, and going all gas is a little bit tricky when you're playing this. The card advantage and deliberate nature of it means that you can sometimes unclog hands. And also it gives me a reason to play the champion. Moving on to runes, 3 Aphrodite. She is so key to this deck. She is a bank. She finds you more Apheroses. If you find this card alongside an Apheros, you will win that game most likely. Next up, both necklaces. These are our Argo targets, and they are very flexible. Necklace of Harmonia, of course, is a better one to get when you need to change combat map. Necklace of Aphrodite is sometimes useful when you need to keep a guy in defense alive. This also has some very fun interaction with other cards in your deck, allowing Aphrodite to search for any other wireless in your deck, as well as being able to trigger Apheros' Champ special cast condition. Toss the Necklace of Aphrodite onto an Ash Rabbit, and now it's 5-8. Next up, 3 Ambrosia. Very useful for triggering OG Lockagon. This deck also does sometimes just lose a whole bunch of spirits because you dump 3 onto a single Apheros, and sometimes you will just lose it all. It's fine. These are there to help recover. Then 1 Resting, 1 Earthquake. These are removal spells. Of course, they're very strong, but especially in live stream, these 2 really perform very well. Resting on your laurels especially has gotten a very big buff come live stream. Moving on to the counter runes, the mandatory Triple Gaze, and then Triple Argo. This, of course, is very powerful. It's a very powerful combat trick, and it also gets you to Nexus banks for your Apheros. Sticking guys with this is very, very good for this deck. Double PTA. We need a little bit more removal. This is also chainable back row, which is very nice for when you have too many of those. Double shield, another common one. Like I said, we don't want too many non-chainable back row, so keeping it light on the shields for the main deck. And then Double Madness. This was one of the last minute changes that we made to the deck, but this Madness is just generically powerful in most matchups. Even just stopping a guy from attacking is very good. Being able to force a 5 defense guy to crash into your guys. And then this just eats Dionysus deck alive. Enrage a Cyprog. They can't do anything. Days of Josiah. Free lunch money for your Apheros on your next turn. You force a Sprouter to crash into your guys. This will be very good in Dionysus matchups. Moving on to the Spirit deck, we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 water. This deck is very water hungry. You really want to be enchanting your Aphrodite, usually for all 4 spirits, because you want to be able to search lights with it as well as have it for Nexus Bank for your Apheros. 3 Thunder. This is very comfy for what we have. Generally, this is for early hands where you have to go Astravit, Reenchant, and then Bagneros, for instance. If you have to reenchant a rabbit for a 4th time, for instance, you're probably too far behind at that point. 3 Earth. This is the perfect ratio for Earthquake and the 2 Madness, and then the 1 Frost for Cryoblast in the side. Moving on to the side deck. Hermits. This is a unique tech for basically Aphrodite decks. And the reasoning behind this is that it's a non-target removal. Into certain matchups like Chronodile or Tempest, just having some way to remove that guy, even if it's kind of hard to get into and kind of hard to set up, is sometimes needed. And having that option is useful. I even cited this in because Frost was playing 1 more wideout than I thought they would be. 2 Atlantis. This is for Stadium Room matchups. You will compete in Stadium Wars for them because the stat bonuses that their stadium gives is quite accurate. It's actually significant usually. So being able to take care of their stadium is very powerful. I guess especially against Solar, you want to be getting rid of their temple, that way they can't freely spawn Nova Cores. Like I said, we have the Frost Spirit in main for the 2 Cryoblast. This is just very powerful removal into certain matchups, not into every single matchup. If you can break apart your opponent's Magneros Apheros with this, that is very good. 3 Tsunami. Most of the time you will be only sighting 2 just because of how sighting patterns work, but the 3rd is very powerful into especially Frost because you just need to blank battle phases against that deck. And Tsunami, it will do that most of the time. They will probably not want to keep you guys. Double Panda Box, Double Spoiled Fruit. This is mostly to stop multiple forms of Jing. Never cited in Spoiled Fruits against Locagon unless it may be Locagon Turbo with Chautauqua, but because most of the time you're better off picking other things. But Pandora's Box is very powerful in this meta against certain decks. Not every deck you want to be playing Pandora's Box into, which is why it's not in the meta. 3rd Shield. It's just good to have. Sometimes Argo is not a very powerful option. PTA might not be powerful. So having the option to go into the 3rd Shield is useful. And then the 1 card we all love, we all hate, it's Helios' Cherry. Sometimes you just need to stop their Helios' Cherry Ride from doing things. Sometimes it's really trying to insulate your plays, especially if you're going in with the mindset that you need to turbo into Locagon. This is, it just works in this format, and I don't like it. Yeah, so that's the top 8 Apheros Tempo deck profile. Hope you enjoyed.